In our Sunrise Smart Start, Rochester officials updating their plans to address public safety after a 3-year-old was caught in the crossfire of a shootout in the city of Rochester last week. It's just one of the many acts of violence in our area that should not be normalized but doesn't seem to end. Mayor Malik Evans called the North Clinton neighborhood where the toddler Marlo Joseph was struck a, quote, neighborhood in crisis. Evans says the solution is to improve the area through investments in the community, which he says is sorely in need of change. In an effort to curb violence in the areas of the city like North Clinton Avenue, RPD leadership asking officers to volunteer for 12-hour shifts. But it's being met with some pushback from members of the police union who say it could have negative impacts on the well-being of officers. Police Chief David Smith originally announced the overtime shifts following that shootout that injured the 3-year-old. Now Chief Smith says they'll be asking first for volunteers to work extra hours when needed. News 8 is your local election headquarters. Tonight, we, along with the League of Women Voters, are hosting a debate between Congressman Joe Morelle and congressional candidate LaRon Singletary as they face off for New York's 25th Congressional District. Tune in tonight at 7 right here on News 8, or you can stream it on our website, rochesterfirst.com. As it gets colder outside, we want to share resources for those who may be facing homelessness. News 8's Jatira Marsh joins us in the studio this morning with a look at some of the support systems in the Rochester area. Good morning, Jatira.
Good morning, Allie. According to the Open Door mission in Rochester, there has been an increase in homelessness over the past few months. Experts say this is because of things like the pandemic, addictions, mental health, and inflation. Serving the community for over 70 years, Open Door Mission was established to provide security through housing and clothing for those without homes in the Rochester area. As temperatures start to drop, the organization is looking to help people who may not have a place to call home. Vice President of Operations Robert Williams says one new resource is coming soon.
We're standing in our newest project, which is a 24-unit supportive housing apartment building. And as the winter approaches, it's certainly going to be an impact to help secure some of those folks getting into apartments.
He says just down the block from the building is also one of their emergency shelters. The new project is in the process of being filled up and is expected to be complete by November 1st, in time for our coldest months. Allie, back to you.
All right, Jatira, thank you. If you're in need of any of the Open Door Mission's resources this winter, you can call their community services team at 585-454-6696. In some national news now, the death toll for Hurricane Ian continues to rise with at least 82 confirmed fatalities in Florida and 4 in North Carolina. In some parts of Florida, the flooding is getting worse and those nearby need a boat to get to their homes. In the Fort Myers area, local leaders are referring to the damage as catastrophic and life-changing. As the new week begins, more than 500,000 Floridians remain without power. President Biden heading to Puerto Rico today to tour damage from Fiona. He'll be in Florida on Wednesday. Tough to see that video there, James, and we know that quite a few people still unaccounted for there.
Right, yeah, they're still searching, it's tough to see. Amazingly, this storm system's still having impacts. New Jersey dealing with it right now. They've got some flood issues. I think New York just on the very edge of this system, but you see us in Rochester, we're just on the edge of cloud cover. We've got clear skies across most of the region. Thinking about getting a golf round in, no issues except the chill. We are in the 30s and will likely be in the 30s through 8 a.m. tea time. By lunchtime, we'll get into the mid-50s and then we'll stay there. Hanging in the mid-50s. Looking forward to 60s we've got as we get into tomorrow, and then especially 70s possible by Wednesday. 8-day forecast at the end of the show. Allie?
All right, James, thank you. One final check of our roads and our sunrise traffic. Still no accidents out there. Things looking good. 390, 490, 590 are clear. Time now for the GRE Morning Business Report. President Joe Biden moving to convert the sprawling U.S. government fleet to zero-emission vehicles. Biden last year directing the U.S. government to purchase only American-made zero-emission passenger cars by 2027 and electric versions of other vehicles by 2035. Allies agreeing to back a plan to clamp down on Russia's access to cash as the war in Ukraine continues. The idea being they would only pay cut rates for Russian oil, depriving Putin of money, but also ensure the movement of Russian oil. A month later now, executives are trying to decide how to execute that plan. If it fails and Russia retaliates by stopping the export of oil, then energy prices worldwide could skyrocket. New this morning, police responding to a two-vehicle crash last night just before midnight at the intersection of Avenue D and Joseph Avenue. They say an SUV and sedan collided at the intersection and flipped the SUV on its side. The SUV driver, a 39-year-old male, was unharmed. The driver of the sedan, a 25-year-old male, was transported to the hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. The sedan driver was also issued tickets for operating an unregistered vehicle and driving without a license. Going inside the huddle now, yesterday's game started off ugly for the Bills, but somehow the team found a way to dig themselves out from a 17-point deficit to win 23-20. Sports director Thad Brown has more on the team's exciting win.
It was raining, it was ugly, the Bills were down 17 points and nothing seemed to be going right. This team could have rolled over. Instead, they scored the final 20 points of the game, ending a 7-game losing streak with losses in close games as well. Josh Allen explained why it happened.
It would be very difficult if we didn't have the guys in the locker room that we did. Guys that just love each other, want to play for each other, aren't going to, stress in frantic situations. Guys that got each other's back. In this locker room, it's got a lot of love in it. And when you have that love and you have that respect for one another, I don't really think you ever feel that way.
There was no panic. It wasn't manic, but it was definitely understanding that when we had our opportunities, we had to execute.
Nobody was pointing fingers. Nobody was saying, hey, this, that, or the other. We just came out one play at a time, brick by brick, didn't blink, and we made the plays when we had to.
We could have gave up. It was 22-3 before the halftime. And then, we put all the other stuff behind us. We told ourselves that we did this. We're out here beating ourselves. Interception, fumble, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. We did that to ourselves. So when we put it all to the side, we put it on us, we capitalized.
In that situation, this type of game, we came out on the other side, multiple times. So to come out on the winning side, it shows that we're moving in the right direction and we're growing.
This game featured the return for Dane Jackson less than 2 weeks after a very scary injury in Buffalo on Monday night. He said he spent all week trying not to think about how nervous he might be going out for a tackle. But at the end of the day, he said his emotions were, quote, everywhere. Super happy and super excited, just like everybody else in Western New York. Inside the Buffalo huddle at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, I'm Thad Brown.
All right, Thad, thank you so much. The Bills now 3-1 this season, host the Pittsburgh Steelers next week. That game is at 1 p.m. right here on Channel 8.